ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी चारुणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत श्री राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, dear devotees. I have great pleasure to welcome you all for this 21st session from Srila Prabhupada Lilamrt. We are going approximately at the rate of one chapter from the book per session. So approximately this must be the 21st session, chapter from this book. So once again, I have great pleasure to welcome you all.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
We greatly respect Srimad Bhagavatam because it contains the stories of many Bhagavats, pure devotees of the Lord. It contains the stories of pure devotees. And by hearing and speaking about the lives of pure devotees, we develop those qualities. Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavate kinchana sarver gunair tatra samasute sura. We, by glorifying the devotees constantly, we develop the qualities that are found only in demigods. The qualities of demigods, they manifest in the hearts of a devotee who is constantly glorifying the Supreme Lord and his pure devotees. Actually, there's no difference between the Supreme Lord and his pure devotees. Sakshad Haritvena Samasta Shastra. All scriptures say Guru is Krishna because he is the pure devotee. Prabhupada has very nicely explained. The representative of God should be given all the respect that is given to God himself. So a pure devotee is treated as Sakshad Hari. And if the Guru is satisfied, Krishna is also satisfied. And our goal is to satisfy Krishna. So it is easily achieved by satisfying Guru, because Guru is more easily satisfied than Krishna. All that the Guru wants is that the disciple should chant Hare Krishna and be happy. That is the only thing that Guru expects from the devotees. He is teaching us to surrender to Krishna, chant the holy names, and be happy. So Guru wants the disciples to be happy. That's what he wants. And Guru also knows how they can really become happy. It is not that whatever we want, we can do and become happy. No, we are constantly misled by our mind. The correct guide book is the Shastra. If we don't believe in Shastra, then our mind becomes our guide and it will mislead us in so many directions. But when we accept the scripture under the guidance of Guru, then our mind becomes one-pointed, focused. Afterwards, there is no looking back. We go back home, back to Godhead. And even during the process, we become happy. There is no unhappiness in the path of Krishna consciousness. If we are experiencing unhappiness, that means that our understanding is still not good. As our understanding improves, we actually become happy. Kleshagni, Shubhada, these are the two primary characteristics of bhakti. Even as you start the bhakti, these two things happen. All your miseries disappear and happiness appears. This is from the beginning of Krishna consciousness, from the time you start. And gradually it increases as your devotion deepens and you continue to practice. You experience it more and more. So with this preamble, let us enter this 21st session. And I pray to the Supreme Lord and to Srila Prabhupada that he will bless all of us, the speaker and the listeners, with pure devotion to the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. This chapter is entitled New Jagannath Puri. So we know that Prabhupada has already left New York and is now in San Francisco. At the invitation of one of his disciples, Mukunda, Mukunda was initiated by Srila Prabhupada in New York, and Mukunda was planning to go to India with his wife Janaki. And Prabhupada told him, and he also said, I'm going via San Francisco, Prabhupada, while going to India. Prabhupada said casually, why don't you try to open a temple there if you're going to India? Prabhupada was not eager that he should go to India, but his mind was fixed. So Prabhupada said, okay, try to open, just see the possibilities of opening a temple like here in San Francisco. So this is the genesis of how this San Francisco temple happened. The words of the spiritual master, the words of a powerful devotee are fulfilled by Krishna. So Prabhupada wanted a temple in San Francisco, and within months the temple manifested. So that Prabhupada, he named that city itself as New Jagannath Puri by opening a Jagannath temple in San Francisco. We will see how it all happened. And in the meantime, we already know how this Mantra Rock Festival was held in San Francisco and how it became very successful. The hall was full, and all these hippies, even though they were in various stages of intoxication, they gave all respect to Srila Prabhupada when he entered the hall in the night at 10 o'clock. As Prabhupada walked up to the stage, all the way across the corridor, everybody stood up and they gave a standing ovation, respect to him. And the devotees blew the conches. And Prabhupada, keeping his chin up, he walked all the way. He went up to the stage. He occupied his seat. He asked Allen Ginsberg to do Kirtan of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Prabhupada himself spoke very shortly. Then afterwards, as Allen Ginsberg started doing Kirtan, it went on half an hour, 45 minutes, 1 hour. Prabhupada stood up and Prabhupada started dancing from the stage. And the whole audience stood up. Everyone was vibrating the Mahamantra. Everyone was chanting. And the scene appeared like a fully ripened wheat field where due to a breeze, the wheat is blowing this side and that side. So the whole hall filled with these hippies. They were all totally absorbed in the Mahamantra and they were all dancing. And this went on for quite a while. And it was a new thing for the American audience because usually the music will be performed in the stage and the audience will be simply watching. But here there was complete participation. There was no distinction between the stage and the audience side. Everybody was involved in the Kirtan. And subsequently, many famous bands were going to play. And all these players also went up to the stage. They joined with Srila Prabhupada, and everybody was making music with their various instruments, and it became a very, very transcendental scene. It was the Avalon Ballroom in San Francisco. Usually, sense gratification is what happens there. Loud music, rock music, and all kinds of shameless dancing is what goes on there. But this one evening, it became transformed. And the very following day, morning, 6 o'clock, Kirtan in San Francisco temple was fully crowded with hippies who were in the ballroom previous night and they had not slept. All night they were awake, but morning, 6 o'clock promptly, they came to see Srila Prabhupada. That is the impact Prabhupada had made on everyone in just one evening. Everyone wanted to come see Prabhupada, take his darshan, hear him speak, participate in his kirtan, and to see other devotees. So this is how an amazing transformation Prabhupada brought about because Prabhupada's strong faith in the Mahamantra. And the Mahamantra reciprocated with Srila Prabhupada. So this was going on San Francisco temple. As I said, the very next day there was a huge crowd and it started growing from strength to strength. And this all happened January 19 is when Prabhupada went there. And 3 days later, Prabhupada wrote to his New York devotees. Now we go back to New York. What is happening there? Just imagine. New York temple is also barely 4 or 5 months old. I think September was the time Prabhupada went to 26 Second Avenue. So just about 4.5 months. Within that time, devotees have come, devotees have surrendered to Prabhupada. They have started chanting 16 rounds. They have taken Diksha. They have got married under the guidance of Prabhupada. Everything, so many changes have happened. And they have been regularly attending the morning program with Prabhupada. They are chanting with Prabhupada. They are cooking. They are serving prasadams among devotees. Devotees have stopped eating outside food completely. They fully depend on Krishna prasadam only. And Whatever they do only under the guidance of Srila Prabhupada, who is available for them 24/7. Prabhupada is available to them. Never is a time Prabhupada says, I am busy, don't come now. Never. Anytime they can walk into Srila Prabhupada's room. In fact, Prabhupada sleeps much less than all the other boys. Prabhupada sleeps hardly 2 hours in a night. So this is what is going on there. Now suddenly, when an opportunity came for opening a temple in San Francisco, Prabhupada simply wound up everything here and he went to San Francisco. And these devotees did not know what is happening because, as I have already told you in an earlier session, these devotees never thought that ISKCON would go outside 26 Second Avenue. They never thought. But one day Prabhupada took them out to Tompkins Square Park, Washington Square Park, and they did Kirtan. So the Kirtan went out of the temple. But even then, the devotees never thought something bigger than this will happen. Prabhupada registered ISKCON Society as an international society. Even then, the disciples did not understand that it is a truly international, worldwide society. They thought simply Prabhupada is giving it a name. They did not care to even understand the objectives of the society. They simply signed. They became trustees of the society. They did not know, but Prabhupada knew all along what he's going to do. So these boys, when the Prabhupada was going to San Francisco, they became heartbroken. They thought, our spiritual life is finished. What will happen from now? Prabhupada, don't leave. Without you, we cannot carry on. Our spiritual life will be gone. We cannot allow you to go. All these things happened. Prabhupada listened to them patiently and he said, my instructions are with you. As long as you follow my instructions, as long as you are chanting through the vibrations and through the instructions, we will be always together. There is never a time the spiritual master gets separated from the disciples. But if you fall away from my instructions, if you fail to follow what I have taught you, then this relationship will get broken. So Prabhupada gave them the comfort that even if I am there, I will be blessing you, I will be praying for you, but through the chanting, you remain connected with me. So Prabhupada had given these instructions. And as I told you, there was no farewell speech, there was no farewell party. Simply Prabhupada got up from his seat, took a taxi and went to the airport, left for San Francisco with one new boy called Ranachod, a 19-year-old boy. He only accompanied Srila Prabhupada and the others were left behind. So Prabhupada, only 3 days after going to San Francisco, he wrote the first letter to these boys and girls in New York. They received the letter from Prabhupada and they became very excited. The letter from Prabhupada means almost like Prabhupada has actually come. You know? So it's like that. So they were very thrilled. And anyone gets a letter, they will read it to all the devotees. Everyone will assemble there and the letter will be read out loudly. Even though the letter will contain personal messages for the devotee concerned, but it is open to all because there's nothing very confidential. Whatever Prabhupada writes to one devotee may be equally applicable to all the others. Here in New York Temple, Prabhupada has already assigned the responsibilities. One small boy has become a treasurer, another boy has become president, another one is a cook, another one is the caretaker, another one is maintaining the books of accounts. Like these different responsibilities, somebody has to do marketing and somebody has to find a new venue for building a temple. Rather, they have to buy a building and convert it into a temple. And Prabhupada is waiting for all these things. Already Prabhupada has identified some buildings and he has told Brahmananda. Brahmananda is now the temple president. He has been told to negotiate for the property. And there is already one agent called Mr. Price. I have already told you in earlier sessions about this Mr. Price, how he was a very high flyer, a real estate broker, and he is dressed in very meticulous clothing, and he speaks very refined English. He calls Srila Prabhupada, Your Excellency, and he greatly appreciates the devotees and ISKCON. He is not practicing, he is not chanting, he is not wearing Kantimala, he is not following regulative principles, but he is always glorifying the devotees. Prabhupada immediately caught this man is not genuine. But Brahmananda is constantly telling Prabhupada, Prabhupada, in India it may be different, but here we have to deal with brokers only. Prabhupada says, deal with the owner of the building. These people say, no, it's not done like that, Prabhupada. And somehow Brahmananda and the other devotees, they are thinking, no, Mr. Price is a supporter. He may not be a devotee yet, but in future he will become a devotee. But he's our strong supporter. Somehow he gained that confidence of the devotees. So this is the background here. So Prabhupada is writing to them. Sometimes he will list all the devotee names in the letter on the top to Brahmananda, Achyutananda, Kirtananda, like that he will put all the names. And bottom, he will sign as many times as there are names on top, not just one signature. Your ever well wisher. He will sign as many times as people have been addressed. That is the level of personal relationship that Prabhupada kept with all of them. So it's not through pure philosophy that Prabhupada captured their hearts, but through selfless love and service, Prabhupada caught them. And by leading a pure life, the purity of Srila Prabhupada attracted all of them to him. They had rejected their own fathers and mothers and families, but they could not reject Srila Prabhupada. They completely surrendered to his lotus feet. So Prabhupada wrote there that, look, I have not even written to my family who is far away in Calcutta. I have children and family. I have not written to them, but I am writing to you because you are my children. You are my spiritual children. And I want to share with you my successes in San Francisco. And I want to reassure you that Krishna is with you. All your sincere efforts will be blessed by Krishna personally. So like that, Prabhupada is writing. He writes letters to the treasurer, encouraging him. He writes to the cook, saying, your workload must be very heavy. You may not have many helpers, but I am happy that you are carrying on. Please continue. Krishna is watching you and he will give you all the help. Like that, he's writing. Now what is happening to these people? So the very next day, the Prabhupada is gone. Every day there was Prabhupada with them. 26 Second Avenue is his residence also. Now Prabhupada is living there. So, but now suddenly Prabhupada is not there. And they don't know what they should do. Then the Prabhupada's voice rang in their ears. Whatever Prabhupada has told rang in their ears. They realized that now they are his successors. They are his devotees, disciples. They should carry on what Prabhupada started. Then they got up as usual. They came to the temple as usual. They had the morning kirtan as usual. They played Prabhupada's recording. Then Prabhupada lectures also they played. And question answer session, these brahmacharis and others would answer. New devotees were still coming. Not that Prabhupada is gone, no more devotees are coming or hippies are coming. No, people are still coming. The temple has established its own credibility. Even though Srila Prabhupada is not there, but people are coming to the temple for solace, for getting spiritual wisdom. So these devotees realize that everything is going on as before. Prabhupada's physical presence is not there, but Prabhupada's presence through Vani is very much there. Everyone is hearing the voice of Prabhupada in his heart. Oh, Prabhupada would say like this, Prabhupada would tell us to do like this, Prabhupada would tell us not to do like this. And as usual, the programs are going on like clockwork from the morning to night. And the devotees are realizing this is called service in separation. And they are realizing the ecstasy in this process. Just imagine, barely for 4 or 5 months, they know Prabhupada. But already they are serving Prabhupada in separation. And they are feeling the ecstasy in this service. Vapu Seva is done in the presence of the Guru. Vani Seva is done both in the presence of the Guru and in the absence of the Guru. So up to now, they were doing in the presence of Prabhupada. Now they are doing in the absence of Prabhupada. There is a great pain when they look at Prabhupada's asan, when they look at Prabhupada's bed, when they look at the kitchen, wherever Prabhupada would go, they are missing him. But still, there is ecstasy because Prabhupada has told, when you are chanting, when you are following my instructions, I am with you. And they are actually feeling it. And they are now realizing the physical presence is not that much important. The transcendental sound of the spiritual master, that is what matters, as long as you are receptive, as long as you are hearing that. Prabhupada also wrote to them, you can keep my pictures wherever you would see me sitting. So they put it on Prabhupada's chair. They put it where Prabhupada used to sit for his translation. They put the picture on his bed. Like that, they kept Prabhupada everywhere. And they felt the presence of Prabhupada. They felt more and more their love growing. Out of sight, out of mind. That is in a physical context. It is like that, out of sight, out of mind. But here, in the absence, love is growing deeper. This is service in separation. They are feeling that love. So Prabhupada is actually giving them the first experience of service in separation. And he's allowing their love for himself and for Krishna to deepen. The love is actually deepening in the absence of the spiritual master. All these things are given in the scriptures. Now it is being validated in practice, empirically, in the New York temple. Whatever is there in the scripture, it is being validated and confirmed that yes, it does work. So for these disciples, this is their first experience of service in separation. The New York temple without Swamiji. The disciples were initially crestfallen. What we will do? But then they are surprised because everything is going on as usual. Initially, it was difficult because they were feeling emptiness. But they realized that service in separation is a transcendental fact. Their chanting was improving. Imagine. Prabhupada is not there. Just imagine a schoolroom. The headmaster is out. The class teacher is out. For 10 minutes, what happens? Pandemonium. Pandemonium. There is all the children are running left, running. Somebody is boxing somebody on the ear. Somebody is knocking him on the head. Somebody is falling down on the floor. Somebody is bleeding, and there is so much noise in the classroom. But here, Srila Prabhupada, who was the only one who was the guide, friend, philosopher, everything is gone. And what is happening? Chanting is improving. We find chanting so painful, right? To sit for 2 hours continuously and chant 16 rounds is painful. But here the devotees are feeling improving. So make a guess, is Prabhupada present or not? So the spiritual master can be present through vibrations. Just as we say, the holy name is the sound form of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. It is the sound form of Krishna. Same way, the spiritual master's instructions are his sound form. So through that, they are relating with Srila Prabhupada, interacting with Prabhupada. So the center, New York center is going on as usual. New devotees are coming, new hippies are coming. Now they are playing, instead of playing Prabhupada's kirtan, now the devotees are doing kirtan. And devotees have started giving class. They realize Prabhupada will want us to give class. So devotees are giving class. Imagine, barely they are devotees for 4 or 5 months, but they are already giving classes based on what they have heard from Prabhupada, what they have read from Prabhupada's Bhagavatam book, and what they have heard in interactions. They are speaking that. And they have the courage to invite questions, answers. The audience is asking questions, and these devotees are answering. So amazingly, the New York temple is establishing itself independently in the physical absence of Srila Prabhupada. So they are remembering what Prabhupada taught them, and they are realizing now we have to simply follow his instructions. Or if we don't know how to follow, we have to simply imitate him like a baby. Like a baby is watching the parents and just doing that without understanding. These children, the spiritual children of Srila Prabhupada, in all sincerity, in all love and affection for Srila Prabhupada, they decided if we know how to follow, we will follow. If we don't know how to follow, we will imitate Prabhupada and carry on. So, and it worked. Srila Goswami, see, this author of the book is one of them. Just remember, the book from which we are taking this class, this book, right? This book author, Satsrupadas Goswami, he is one of the people in New York right now. So he is writing from his own internal emotions and experience. So this is bona fide, authentic, confirmed, verified, whatever we are talking. So initially they played the tapes of Prabhupada, then there were live classes, the brahmachari, they're giving, and even question answers. So in a sense, Prabhupada was actually present. Whatever was going on, Prabhupada's presence was there. And for Srila Prabhupada, this was a milestone. This letter he started writing to New York because he now realized with evidence that now I am going to expand ISKCON. This is only the second center of ISKCON. I am going to open more than 100 centers, and not all of them in the United States. I'm going to open them in every continent, in every major city of the world. More than 100 centers. How I will manage them? How I can be present in each of them? How long can I be there in each of my temples? And when will I revisit one temple after I have opened? Just ask yourself these questions. In those days, traveling around the globe was not so easy. Getting the connections, getting the flights and travel duration and jet lag. But one thing, Prabhupada had never something called jet lag. Any of you who have flown even 6 hours, 7 hours by flight, all of you know what is a jet lag. You get a giddiness, you get headache, you get sleeplessness, and I have suffered. Even though Prabhupada went all the way across, I went only in London. I lived there for 2 years. And my jet lag took several months for me to get over. But here, Prabhupada never suffered any jet lag. But this letter gave Prabhupada the confidence that I can go on opening centers. And I will give training for maybe 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, or maybe even not that much, maybe for a few days. Prabhupada opened temples like that, where he went only a few days. Create new devotees there and hand over the temple to them and move on. But then I will keep in touch with them in the form of letters. Can anyone guess how many letters Prabhupada wrote in those time? Now we are in 1967. So Prabhupada wrote thousands of letters, something like 4,000 letters Prabhupada wrote. Does anybody have a record like that? How many letters each of us might have written? Right? And here is an old man. He starts writing at the age of 71. He starts writing letters at the age of 71. Between the age of 71 and 81, he writes 4,000 odd letters. Long letters, not one-line letters. And each of them is personal. Each of them is a guide to the devotee to become more Krishna conscious, to become more attached to Krishna, to become more attached to spiritual master, to become more attached to service. Prabhupada. So this letter that way became a milestone. Prabhupada realized my letters are inspiring my devotees. And my letters are practically a substitute for my physical presence. So Prabhupada started using these letters very effectively. Now we can understand how Prabhupada could administer 108 temples all over the world, one shot. And most of the temples, people had seen Prabhupada for only a few days, not months, for days. And they were able to carry on with full confidence. So how? Through letters and of course phone calls. So Prabhupada decided that I can now expand my mission. Prabhupada's every single incident is a lesson for Prabhupada because there is no precedent. We say there is no need to reinvent the wheel, right? It's a saying in English. You don't have to invent the wheel because it's already invented. Now the wheel is available, you go buy it and use it. Why you have to invent a wheel, correct? But please remember, Prabhupada is inventing the wheel. Never before has Krishna consciousness left the shores of India. Prabhupada's guru had tried to send some of his followers to the West, but they all uniformly failed. They could not make an impact at all. And others who came out of India, they were mostly Mayavadis. What did they teach? You are God, I am God. They polluted the American consciousness by teaching them, you are God, I am God. I have realized I am God. I will teach you how to realize you are God. Shall I repeat this? Do you understand? Or anyone has any doubts? What did I say? Hare Krishna. Do you understand? Anyone?
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, they thought that everyone has their own gods.
Yeah. See, what they are saying is, there is only God, but God has fallen into Maya. And because of that, the God is thinking that I am X, Y, Z, I am this body. But through yoga meditation, one day you can realize that I am God and you will no longer be in Maya. So you are, even today you are God, but you are God in Maya. I am your guru, I am your teacher. I was like you, but today I am God. And I have realized I am God. Now I am going to make all of you God. So I am God, you are God, everyone is God. Yeah. So this is what, so there is completely, people are confused. But here, Prabhupada is teaching, yes, you are gods with an apostrophe S. You are not God, you are gods. You are God's property. You belong to God. You are the child of God. You are the servant of God. So the servant of God has the same qualities as God. Only difference is the servant is infinitesimal, the master is infinite. So that is basically the teaching of Srila Prabhupada. So all that came out of India was Mayavad. Or they would come with, mystic yoga. I will teach you samadhi. You sit in samadhi, like asana, pranayama. All these things, there were teachers who were coming. But pure devotion, no one has come. Prabhupada is coming for the first time. And Prabhupada has to reinvent, or he has to do everything from scratch. There is no precedent for what Prabhupada is doing. So now Prabhupada has invented a new instrument called letter writing. Through letters, I will help my people. And mind you, almost all the letters that Prabhupada had written are preserved. They are available till today to guide the disciples and newcomers also. These letters are all preserved. Okay. So Brahmananda, the temple president, Brahmananda is not only temple president, he is also having a government job. Mind you, multitasking. He has a full-time work in the temple, but he's also having full-time job. And that salary he gets $400, that salary goes into the temple hundi. When Prabhupada is there, it will go into Prabhupada's hand. Otherwise, it's no part of temple wealth. They don't have any money of their own. Everything belongs to them. So all these transformations are in a matter of few months, Prabhupada's created. So temple president will be making calls to Srila Prabhupada and getting his guidance on everything. And in this only, the price episode also happened. Prabhupada was cautioning him, don't believe this Mr. Price. I like that property. I want that property. You know what is the price of the property? $1 lakh. That building is what Prabhupada wants to buy and make it into a New York temple. But Prabhupada is warning him, don't believe this price. Get in touch with the original owner and don't pay him even one penny. He will cheat you. But despite all this, Brahmananda somehow believed this Mr. Price and parted with $1,000 to him. Because Mr. Price said, unless you pay something, how anybody will believe that you are serious to buy the property? So he gave me. So without even a receipt, he paid $1,000. Prabhupada was always insisting, no money without a contract, no money without a contract. But he broke. And Prabhupada was very unhappy, very angrily he criticized him. But Brahmananda still was under the glamour of Mr. Price, still thinking that he will help us. Eventually what happened? He took another $5,000 from Brahmananda. And then Brahmananda realized he is a cheat. And Brahmananda could not recover that money. All this happened when Prabhupada is still in San Francisco. Prabhupada is very, very angry. He even refused to talk to Brahmananda. The devotees in New York became like orphans. They did not know what to do. They all realized, they regretted, they felt that we have failed to listen to Prabhupada's instructions. But then who else can guide them now? They need Prabhupada. They invited Prabhupada, please come back, please come back, please help us. And Prabhupada said, all right, I will come back. So while he is already in San Francisco, Prabhupada's plan is now there to go back to New York, to give more strength and comfort to these people. So these $5,000, Prabhupada started from nothing. With great difficulty, they have accumulated some money in the bank balance. And out of that, $6,000 is gone. So this is happening. In the meantime, Satsrupa Maharaj, not Maharaj at the time, Satsrupa Brahmachari, he is asking Srila Prabhupada how I can understand spiritual knowledge. In a letter he is asking. Prabhupada replies to him saying, you are a sincere devotee. You are sincerely following my instructions. So what will happen? Krishna will reveal the transcendental knowledge in your heart. So this is how it happens. When we endeavor to get spiritual knowledge sincerely under guidance of spiritual master, then the Lord will reveal in our heart. It is not in our capacity to understand spiritual knowledge. We only make endeavor. It is always the Lord's mercy. Even to do bhakti, we need the mercy of the Lord. And to advance in bhakti, we need mercy of Lord. We get understanding, we need mercy of Lord. Everything is. So initially, with faith, we should desire to associate with Krishna. That is the starting point. I have faith in the scripture. I have faith in Krishna. I have faith in the Guru. I want to make progress. When the desire comes, then Krishna will guide you in every step. And to Jadurani, you remember, she's a girl, a postgraduate. She's in history and philosophy. And she's also a painter now. She's painting pictures for Srila Prabhupada. So she wrote to Prabhupada, opened her heart, saying, I had a boyfriend, but he cheated me. He has left me. I am miserable. Like that she wrote. And Prabhupada wrote to her, make Krishna as your husband. Marry Krishna, and you will never be unhappy. Prabhupada wrote to her, devote yourself 24 hours in Krishna's service and see how happy you feel in all respects. And Jadurani did exactly that. Now, if you go to internet and see, type Jadurani, you will see her with Prime Minister Modi. Along with Prime Minister Modi, she's handing him a book of painting she has done. Like Prabhupada worked 24 hours, Jadurani also sometimes used to work 24 hours in painting. Barely sleeping. In front of the picture she's making, only she will sleep. Again, wake up and start painting. And the pictures that you see in Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, many of the pictures were made by her in the early days. So this is how Prabhupada is encouraging everyone. And Mr. Price episode, I have already told you. Mr. Price is a broker. Mr. Tyler is the owner of the building, but they have never met him. And Mr. Hall is a financier, again introduced by Mr. Price. So by using all these names, he completely cheated Brahmananda. He took the money, and Brahmananda is feeling now, how can I get back the money? Not possible. Prabhupada is saying, don't allow them to get away with the money. They have cheated you. Tell them you will go to the court. Court against not only Mr. Price, but against the lawyers also. So it's a big story. Maybe some other time we will discuss it in greater detail. But somehow, in the absence of Prabhupada, these boys got cheated, despite Prabhupada giving them many warnings. So like at that time, the temple income, they had a savings of $10,000 and they had regular income also, because some of the boys were contributing their own salaries and they were distributing the books of Prabhupada, and some donations were also coming. So the temple is financially becoming viable to maintain itself. Okay, now we come back to San Francisco. So because park chanting has already started in New York, here also park chanting starts. So Prabhupada takes the devotees to Golden Gate Park. And in the meantime, Prabhupada has got the first clay mridanga. You know the Mayapur mridanga? Clay pot made of that mridanga. And it produces the best sound. And Prabhupada has practiced on that mridanga only. But unfortunately, in America, for the past 2 years or 1.5 years, Prabhupada did not have that mridanga. He wrote to many people in India. Nobody supported. So first time, earlier Prabhupada was using American drums or African drums. With that he would play. African drums don't have two sides, only one side. With one side, Prabhupada would play, and the musicians in America would be amazed how beautifully Prabhupada is playing. So many different talas, they never knew Prabhupada is playing. But now, Prabhupada has received the original clay mridanga drum, which is Balramji. The mridanga is called Balramji. So he's now got the original clay mridanga. And he's playing that. So they went to the park. Prabhupada sat down in the lawn, and Prabhupada started playing the mridanga. And slowly the hippie devotees, they started dancing around Prabhupada. And there were other hippies in 2-3 circles, they were sitting in the park, and they all got up, and everybody started participating in kirtan and dancing. And they formed circles, holding each other's hands, the boys, the girls, the children, everyone. And they formed a huge circle against Prabhupada, and they were going round and round and round. Till today in ISKCON, we do this, right? So they were moving in circles, and everybody was experiencing ecstasy. One girl was holding her baby in her arm, and she was dancing. Then there is a white girl and a black man, boyfriend, a girlfriend, they are dancing together. And in another place, little girl, 4 years old, she's sitting on the floor, going back and forth with her eyes closed. She's enjoying, she's singing kirtan. Everybody was absorbed in the kirtan. And Prabhupada sang for more than an hour. And in this place, one very educated lady called Linda Kurtz, she came there and she saw Prabhupada and she became devotee. She followed the devotees to the temple. She took some prasadam. She expressed interest to meet Prabhupada. The following day, she came to the temple at 6 o'clock in the morning, and she started attending the classes. She started chanting Mahamantra and initiated as Lilavati Devidasi. She became Lilavati Devidasi. And she became a great supporter of Srila Prabhupada. She became a big strength to San Francisco temple. Whatever services were given, she would very eagerly execute. She was a highly educated, brilliant lady. She was looking for spiritual meaning, and she did not find anywhere, and she found it here. Not very old. She is also 24, 25 in that age group. And she has now surrendered, became Lilavati Devidasi. Like that, many devotees came. As I said, many of them came in couples, husband, wife. They were not husband, wife. They were live-in partners, but Prabhupada gave them initiation and he got them married also. He performed the marriage of each of these couple and he made them husband and wife. In the meantime, one statue of Krishna was brought by one of the devotees, and Krishna named him Kartami Sai, means the boss. He is the boss of this place. But the deity was not installed. Prabhupada used to keep the deity by his side, and while giving classes, he will be looking at the deity very lovingly. So everybody realized that Prabhupada has deep affection for this Lord Krishna, Kartami Sai. But the deity was not installed because Prabhupada still had reservations. Deity worship means serious business. You cannot just worship the deity one day and not worship the next day. No. Once a deity is properly installed, either in the temple or at home, it is your duty to worship him properly every day, morning, afternoon, evening. It becomes a responsibility. It's a commitment. Okay, the standards in temple may be very high. The standards at home may not be that high. But still, you cannot neglect the deity because deity is Krishna himself. In order to give you an opportunity to serve him, he has come to you in the form of wood or marble or stone or metal or even a picture. But once you have installed, you have to take care of him nicely. So Prabhupada was thinking, all these hippies, if I give them a deity now, when I leave, will they worship him properly? So Prabhupada did not install. Prabhupada is simply keeping Krishna there. And Prabhupada in the morning, 6 o'clock, he would sing Guru Ashtakam. Samsara dhava nala lida loka pranaya karumya gana ganatvam praptasya kalyana gunarnavasya vande guru sri charana ravindam. Prabhupada would sing with the mridanga and all the disciples will be mesmerized. They don't know the meaning, they don't know the words, nothing, but they are mesmerized by Prabhupada's absorption in glorifying his Guru. Prabhupada's eyes will be closed, his nerves will be bulging out in deep emotion, in choked voice. Prabhupada would sing every day. And then all the disciples will sit with Prabhupada and chant one round. These are not the devotees of New York, these are fresh devotees of San Francisco. They are sitting with Prabhupada and chanting. Many experiences happened. Unfortunately, we don't have time to go deeply into each of them. But Satsvarupadas Goswami writes great details in his book. And then Prabhupada gives class. Prabhupada says, please, even if you find Krishna consciousness inconvenient or uncomfortable, please don't give it up. Please don't give it up. Krishna consciousness will give you eternal joy. Even when you leave this body, your soul will never take a temporary body again. You will get your permanent spiritual body and go back to Krishna and continue to serve him in joy. So please seek this eternal joy, which is always increasing. It will never be lost. So don't look for transient joys of this world like a fool. Only fools look for material enjoyment because material enjoyment has a beginning and an end. Anything that has a beginning has an end also. When you eat a rasgulla, there is a beginning and there is an end. When you buy a nice car, again there is a beginning and there is an end. Any material pleasure. If you go to a nice 5-star hotel, you go for a nice movie, you go for a nice mall, any of these pleasures, so-called pleasures, they have a beginning and an end. So Krishna says, Yehi samsparsha ja bhoga Dukkha yonaya evate adyantavantaha kaunteya na teshu ramate buddha. Krishna tells to Arjun, by the contact of the senses with sense objects, temporary happiness arises. Again, I will repeat, by the contact of the senses with various sense objects, like the eyes see a beautiful form, the ears hear a beautiful sound, the skin feels a pleasant sensation. All these things, contact of sense with sense object, they contain the potential for future suffering. Dukkha yonaya evate. It contains the seed of suffering. Please remember this, every pleasure we enjoy in this material world is the seed for future suffering. It is a seed for future suffering. Today's enjoyment, very short-lived, temporary, but the seed that has been dropped, that will create future suffering. That may be suffered for a long time, right? Some unhealthy food you eat, you enjoy for 5 minutes, then you get a dysentery or a stomach ache or a food poisoning and you suffer for days. It's a very simple example. But every material happiness will eventually lead to suffering. And that suffering may go for many lifetimes also. Like somebody drinks and becomes a drunkard, and to overcome that addiction, it takes maybe many lifetimes also. So like that, Krishna wants Adyantavantaha, any happiness that has a beginning and an end. Intelligent people don't seek it. Yeah. Again, I'm saying Adyantavantaha, that has a beginning and an end. Intelligent people, Buddha, Nateshu, they don't enjoy it. Even though there is some enjoyment for a short while, intelligent people don't accept it. No, this is temporary. I don't want. I don't want. Anything temporary, I don't want. Then where is permanent happiness? Permanent happiness is with Krishna. It is there only in bhakti. Then I will not leave it. So Prabhupada is advising them, don't give up Krishna consciousness because it is inconvenient or uncomfortable. Only foolish people will seek transient joy. So like the Prabhupada is cautioning. One day, something very interesting happened in San Francisco. Malati, who was earlier Marjorie, Shyam Sundar, one Samuel was there. He became Shyam Sundar, and his wife is Malati. And one day she went to a shop and she brought something and put it in front of Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada is always sitting behind a small desk. She put it on the desk, one small figure. Prabhupada saw it and his eyes opened wide. And then Prabhupada offered full Dandavat obeisances to that small image, to that form. And every devotee was watching. Malati also was watching. And she was wondering, oh, my Guru is so much pleased with what I have done. And he's giving so much respect. So everyone asked Prabhupada, who is this? Then Prabhupada explained, this is Jagannath. Prabhupada did not even explain immediately. Prabhupada said, that small doll was black. So Prabhupada said, did you also see two other dolls, same size, one yellow in color, another white in color? She said, yes. He said, bring them also. She went back to the shop. She brought them also. So all the three deities were put there. Then Prabhupada narrated to them the story of Jagannath. How Jagannath appeared to Indradyumna Maharaj in Jagannath Puri, and how King Prataparudra was serving them nicely, and how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would take the darshan of Jagannath with great ecstasy, and he would dance in front of the Rath Yatra cart in great ecstasy. All this Prabhupada was sharing, and the devotees were very, very happy. And then Prabhupada said, Prabhupada thought, I have been avoiding installing a deity in USA because I am thinking these boys and girls are not qualified to maintain deities. But here is Jagannath who has come. All devotees will know Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was only worshipping Jagannath all his life. From the age of 24 to 48, his life and soul was Jagannath in Jagannath Puri. Yes, Mahaprabhu lived there from the age of 24 to 48. And every day he would take darshan of Jagannath, nothing else. And that Jagannath has appeared in San Francisco through a devotee. She has gone and brought him without knowing what she has brought. So Prabhupada thought, here is a cue, here is a message from the Supreme Lord that I want to be worshipped. So Prabhupada asked the group of devotees, does anyone know how to carve wood? Then Shyam Sundar, Malati's husband, he said, I know. Then Srila Prabhupada said, make 3-foot copies of these 3 deities. 3-foot copies, you make them. And immediately Shyam Sundar started working. He got logs of wood, he kept them in his flat, and he started carving them. Seriously, because with these deities, the temple is going to open. San Francisco temple. And the deities he is making, such a big responsibility. So Prabhupada decided, I will install these deities. And then he named San Francisco as New Jagannath Puri. New Jagannath Puri ki jai. So this is how Lord Jagannath appears in San Francisco. And the hippies, when they saw these small deities are available in the shop, they went and bought all the deities. And everyone started wearing little Jagannath around the neck. All the hippies were wearing little Jagannath around the neck. That became a fashion there. And Shyam Sundar was day and night carving these deities. And before the deities were finished, just before, he hurt himself. One small piece of wood went under his skin and it got infected. He was working with that. He did not stop. He did not go to the doctor, and it got infected. Pus formed. He got a high fever and he had to be taken to the hospital. But the deities were finished. And Prabhupada said, Jagannath is purifying him. Many times the Lord will purify a devotee in this fashion. The sins of many lifetimes, he will take it out through a minor accident or some hurt or a fever, something. So Shyam Sundar was in the hospital when the deities were installed because he was undergoing treatment, severe fever and blood infection. And then on March 26th, installation. Remember, when did Prabhupada come? January 19. He came to San Francisco. Before that, San Francisco had not seen Prabhupada. Only Mukunda Janaki had seen. But now, only 2 months later, temple is there and deities are there and deity Prana Pratishtha, the installation is happening. So that installation ceremony. Let us see how the installation ceremony took place. You remember it's only a storefront. Sri Radha Krishna temple, it's only a storefront. So there, the installation is taking place. And by the way, in this picture, the deities that you see, they are the same deities that was carved by Shyam Sundar. So that morning of installation, Srila Prabhupada led a kirtan as usual. Everybody chanted one round together. And then the Mahaprabhu's life sketch was read out. This is installation of Jagannath and Mahaprabhu's life sketch is being read out. Now, I want the devotees to guess from where they got this life sketch of Mahaprabhu book, from where they could have read it. Can anyone guess? Prabhupada has not yet written Chaitanya Charitamrita. He has not written any book on Mahaprabhu yet. From where did they get this? Any guess? No guess? Yes.
Srila Prabhupada Gurus?
No.
I have no idea.
No. If any of you have read Srimad Bhagavatam, cover to cover, not from chapter 1, not from Janmadya Shaitaha Anmaya.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
The introduction of Srimad Bhagavatam gives a elongated explanation of Mahaprabhu's life, Prabhuji.
Correct.
I was surprised when I read it.
Exactly. See the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. Yes, Ramanathan Prabhu. Hare Krishna. So, exactly. So, even though Prabhupada was writing Bhagavatam, but there in the introduction, he has given a detailed story of Mahaprabhu. So, that life sketch of Mahaprabhu was read out. Okay. In turn, Lilamrt Mataji was reading, Haigriva Prabhu was reading, like that they read the whole life of Mahaprabhu. Please remember, Mahaprabhu, Jagannath, and Krishna, they are all one and the same. How many of you know this song? Jai Jai Jagannath Shachiranandan Tribhuvane Korija Charana Vandan. You know this song? Yes, Meenakshi
Yes,
Mataji.
Prabhuji.
Please, can
Yes,
you
Prabhuji.
sing the last two lines of this song?
Prabhuji, I don't know by heart, Prabhuji. Just a second, Prabhuji.
No worry, I will sing. Vasudeva Gosha Bole Kori Joda Heart. Jai
Jai
Gaur,
Bol,
Jai Krishna,
Hey
Say
Krishna, say
Jagannath.
Jagannath.
What is the meaning, Mataji?
It says that Krishna and Jagannath are one and the same.
Who says?
Vasudev Ghosh.
The writer of this song, Vasudeva Gosha Bole, Kori Joda Heart, with his palms brought together, he is telling all of us, Jai Gaur means Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, say Krishna, he is Krishna, say Jagannath, he only is Jagannath. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Jagannath and Krishna, they are all one and the same. But they are the more and more merciful forms of Krishna. Krishna is as it is merciful. His more merciful form are the devotees, right? And same way, he comes in the form of a devotee, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in the mood of Srimati Radharani. So he's most merciful. Same way is Jagannath. Jagannath and Radharani have a very special relationship. Anybody knows? Meenakshi Mataji? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Jagannath. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Radharani and Jagannath is what? Anyone?
I didn't get the question, Prabhuji. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is?
What makes this
Radharani's
relationship between Jagannath and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu very special? Why it is a very special relationship?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Jagannath is Krishna in separation with Radharani Prabhuji.
Correct. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu?
It is in Radharani's Bhav Prabhuji.
He is Radharani in separation from Krishna.
Krishna.
So you see, they come together. Radharani in separation from Krishna is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Krishna in separation from Radharani is Jagannath. And they both come together. And this is the highest ecstatic feelings are manifested because they are the Supreme Lord. Two forms of the Supreme Lord and both in extreme feeling of separation from each other. You can imagine what kind of spiritual emotions burst forth in such a meeting. So that way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you have to remember always Mahaprabhu with Jagannath. Mahaprabhu with Jagannath. So this day also, Jagannath is being installed and they are reading the life sketch of Mahaprabhu. And then the evening, the room is filled to capacity with hippies and guests and devotees and all these people. The mood is completely reverential, same time festive. Everybody is looking at Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra in a huge altar, in a wooden altar with a nice canopy also. Very beautifully, Shyamsundar Prabhu has prepared everything. And they have also done some very special lighting, multicolor lighting. You know, the hippies are known for all the psychedelic lighting and music. So they have done all these things. And now installation is going to happen. So before that, Srila Prabhupada gives a lecture. And in the lecture, Prabhupada talks about Varnashrama. What is the goal of Varnashrama? Anyone knows? Anyone who is doing Bhakti Shastri will know, or Bhakti Vaibhav, anyone of you? What is the goal of Varnashrama?
To know the absolute truth, Prabhuji.
No. The purpose of Varnashrama is to please. Yeah, go on. Yes, Madhu. Yeah, Srimati.
Yes, Prabhuji. Initially, to understand that we are not the body, we are the soul, and that is the beginning of Prabhuji.
No, the goal of Varnashrama is to please Vishnu. Then the goal of anything is to please Vishnu. Whether it is Karma Yoga, or it is Jnana Yoga, or it is Ashtanga Yoga, or Bhakti Yoga, the purpose of anything is to please Vishnu. But if you do anything without knowing the goal is to please Vishnu, that effort is a total failure. Anyone who is doing Varnashrama should know I am doing this to please Vishnu. That is what everybody should know. Atapumbin Vijashreshta, Varnashrama Vibhagasa, Svanishtasya Dharmasya Samsiddhir Hari Toshanam. Toshanam means pleasing. Tushti means pleasing. Hari Toshanam. Hari should be pleased by your Varnashrama. So Prabhupada is talking. The Varnashrama system is there only in India. In fact, was there in India, no longer there. So he's talking Varnashrama in American society. And he's telling, look, Varnashrama means Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. The society is divided like this. That's a Varna system. That is a social division. Then there is also a spiritual division. There is brahmachari, grihastha, vanaprastha, sannyas. So the purpose of everything is to take one towards liberation by understanding the Supreme Lord. Only when you understand the Lord, then you get liberation. So like that, Prabhupada is explaining the Varnashrama system. And he's telling this complex Varnashrama system can be short-circuited by accepting bhakti. When you do bhakti, from whatever situation, all you people in America, you are not even Shudra. You are Malecha, Yavana, below Shudra also. But by doing bhakti under my guidance, under the guidance of scripture, you can cross over all these obstacles and you can please Hari. By practicing Navavida bhakti, instead of doing Varnashrama, you will please Hari much more. So the goal of Varnashrama is automatically reached by worshipping the deities of the Lord, by performing bhakti. Like that, Prabhupada gave a class. He spoke about Sridhar Kolavecha and Rupa Goswami in the context of Sridhar Kolavecha is a brahmachari. He is having no money. He is in complete poverty. But he pleased Mahaprabhu so much, every day Mahaprabhu used to come to his house. And Rupa Goswami was the prime minister of Nawab Hussain Shah, the Bengali king. And he was also able to please the Supreme Lord by his complete sense of surrender. So for surrendering to the Lord, education is not required, wealth is not required, beauty is not required, knowledge is not required, nothing is required. You have to only perform your love to the Supreme Lord. Like that, Prabhupada gave class, and there was question answers. Someone is asking, how can I satisfy Krishna? Then Prabhupada is telling, first you hear about him, then speak about him, and think about him. You worship him on a regular basis. That way, you will know Krishna, and by knowing Krishna, you will be able to please him. Without knowing him, how you can please him? So Prabhupada answered like that. Then someone says, but I don't know about Krishna and all. Then Prabhupada said, nobody knows about Krishna. That is why I'm asking you to hear. You hear constantly from pure devotees. Then you will know about Krishna, and then you will know what you have to do. So Prabhupada answered like that. Then someone is asking, Prabhupada, we are all young people. They don't call him Prabhupada, Swamiji. Swamiji, we are all very young people. We don't know anything. How can we preach now? Prabhupada says, that is why I'm saying, hear me first. Then whatever you hear, you speak. If you hear 2 lines, those 2 lines you speak. Then Prabhupada says, you hear Hare Krishna, then you speak Hare Krishna. Yeah, I have taught you the Mahamantra, chant the Mahamantra. So there is no need to wait, right? And someone is saying, but how long should we hear you before we can develop the qualification to preach? Prabhupada said, there is no need to wait. Whatever you hear, you can speak. But don't concoct, don't mislead others. I am speaking the instructions of Krishna. Same way, you also go and speak the instructions of Krishna. So here Prabhupada is echoing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Amara Ajnaya Guru Haya Taraye Desh. Yara Deko Tare Kaho Krishna Upadesh. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I am ordering you, my devotees, to become Guru and save this world, save this planet by becoming becoming gurus. And what the Guru should do? Yara Deko Tare Kaho Krishna Upadesh. You meet anyone on the street, during business, in your office, at your home, or in cinema theater, and the mall, Tare Kaho, you tell them Krishna Upadesh. You tell them what Krishna has taught. Don't teach your own teachings. Teach what Krishna taught. What Krishna said, surrender to me. And you go and tell what? Surrender to Krishna. Then you are saying same thing what Krishna taught. Krishna said surrender to me. And you don't go and say surrender to me. You know, that is fraud. That is a rascal then, Prabhupada. Krishna says surrender to me. You go and say surrender to Krishna. That makes you a perfect representative of Krishna. So Prabhupada said, all of you don't mislead, don't concoct, go and preach. And Prabhupada goes on like this, 45 minutes question answers. Prabhupada is not tired. He is willing to go on. He is thinking in his mind. Satsvarupa Goswami writes, I am just repeating what he writes. Why should these young boys and girls suffer? Prabhupada is thinking. Why should these young boys and girls suffer without Krishna consciousness? They should get Krishna's mercy and be happy. For this, Srila Prabhupada was their tireless servant. Tireless servant. He would go on and on and on. He doesn't want sleep. He doesn't want food. He doesn't want rest. He can just go on and on. This is Srila Prabhupada. So then the installation happened. How it happened? Prabhupada said, bring a tray, put a big candle on that, light the candle, and one of the devotees go on waving the candle before Jagannath, Baladev, and Subhadra until your hands are tired. Then give it to the next devotee. And that devotee will do the same thing until they are tired. Then they will give to the next one. In the meantime, Kirtan will go on. So the installation is happened in the form of Kirtan. Kirtan will go on at the back, and people will be waving Arati in front of the Lord by turns. And when this is done, installation is over. So Prabhupada started singing Kirtan and waving of the Arati started. Everyone was excited. They were all looking at Jagannath. They saw Prabhupada, how he is looking at Jagannath so lovingly, and how Jagannath is reciprocating by looking at Srila Prabhupada. And they all wanted that experience. And everyone was very eager to perform that Arati. And it went on for more than 1 hour. They went on waving this Arati, and Kirtan went on. And finally, everyone had done. The plate was brought to Srila Prabhupada. And Prabhupada touched the heat of the flame and applied on his eyes. And he told, take it to everybody. They should do like what I have done. Then the installation is over. Like that installation was completed, then everybody was given ample prasadam. And Prabhupada was supervising that everyone is getting sufficient prasadam. What kind of prasadam? Prabhupada has already taught in New York, and the recipes have traveled to San Francisco, and they know how to cook. Wherever Prabhupada goes, there are trained cooks. Whatever Prabhupada has taught, the milk sweets using milk and butter and paneer and grains, there is amazing prasadams prepared, ample prasadam, everybody is getting. One old man was opening the temple door and going out. Prabhupada immediately called the devotees. Hey, one person is leaving. He has not taken prasadam. Call him back. Then immediately devotees ran. He was already going out. They called him, please, sir, please come back. And they gave him a plate full of prasadam. And that man sat and ate very, very happily. And Prabhupada also was happy. So Prabhupada was watching the whole thing going on with complete satisfaction. Prabhupada is there only to please Krishna and to please the ordinary fallen souls like us. Prabhupada is a servant of the Lord, and in that way, he is a servant of everyone, because everyone is a child of God, and the Guru is a servant of everyone. In that mood, Srila Prabhupada has completed the installation. So Satsrupa Goswami writes, in India, except Srila Prabhupada, no one present in San Francisco temple at that time would be eligible to enter into Jagannath temple or to serve the deity of Jagannath. But these are all customs, that's all. But Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati had already introduced deity worship without any restriction. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati also accepted Shudras and lower classes as his devotees. So already Saraswati Thakur had broken this. And Bhakti Vinod Thakur has written in his books, when will the day come? When will the day come when the devotees from France, Germany, England, America will dance along with the Bengali devotees in Mayapur and sing Jai Sachinandana, Jai Sachinandana, Jai Sachinandana, Jai Sachinandana. When the day will come? This is the prayer of Bhakti Vinod Thakur. And Srila Prabhupada is fulfilling the desire of the whole parampara by installing Jagannath in San Francisco temple and allowing everyone to worship and render service to Jagannath and to participate in the prasadam. Yeah. So Prabhupada told all the people present, this is now Jagannath's home and you should visit him daily and don't come empty-handed. He is the master of the universe. You bring some offering, either a fruit or an incense or anything you bring. And they all understood. Everybody fell in love with Jagannath. And from that day, hippies would come. With some offering they would come. Sometimes they will bring half a bread or one bun they will bring, or some biscuits they would bring, or one fruit they would bring, or some flowers they would bring. Even when they buy some clothes to wear, they will bring the clothes first, offer it to Jagannath, and then they would wear it. All these practices started even in the presence of Srila Prabhupada. And Prabhupada is very, very happy that the deity worship is taking root there. Next day, what happened? The devotees took the Jagannath deity out without asking Prabhupada. They took him out to the park and they were having kirtan for hours together. Jagannath was sitting there. You would have seen these photographs. If you haven't seen, please go to Google and look for these pictures. Jagannath is there. I don't know, even in this PPT, I might have put it there. Jagannath is there, and devotees are sitting around, and they're having nice kirtan. And Jagannath is happily watching. For several hours, then finally Jagannath came back. And then Prabhupada said, no, no, no. You should not take the deity. Your deity is installed. He will be there in the temple only. People should come and take his darshan. Only when the deity wants to go out, Prabhupada said that we can arrange a Rath Yatra, I will tell you. And I want you to perform this Rath Yatra sometime in the future. So the deity returned to the temple. Prabhupada said, see, we worship the deity in the temple. We give him a nice accommodation and worship. But people put up the figures of their politicians like Mahatma Gandhi or Ambedkar or Jawaharlal Nehru all over the place in the open. And the crow and the pigeon come and sit on their head and poo on their head. On the body, if you see, for the rest of the year, it is full of bird shit. The whole body. And this is the way you respect the person. Your very favorite politician or a film star or favorite social worker, whoever. But we don't do that. Our deities, they are kept in the temple. When we offer them nice respect, Prabhupada made them understand. This is the way. And they say this is idol worship. And why do they put up Napoleon and Winston Churchill statues in the open? And for the birds to sit on them and nasty that place. And once in a year, Prabhupada says, once in a year they will come with a brush. The brush with which they clean the road. With the same brush they will clean that statue. Yeah, Prabhupada makes these points very amazingly that will go deeply into our heart. But we should not treat our deity like that. So the deity made the temple look very beautiful. Everybody is coming, and in the night, these multicolored lights, red, blue, green, yellow, violet, like that. And it looks like, Jagannath, Baldev, they are looking in different directions. As the lights go off and on, the psychedelic lighting, it makes the temple look beautiful. And Prabhupada introduced night arati also. And Prabhupada said, they asked, Prabhupada, what else should we do for Jagannath? Prabhupada said, if I told you everything at once, all of you will faint. There are so many ways in which you can serve Jagannath. Prabhupada said, but not now. Now you carry on with whatever I have taught you. And other things will be introduced. Then they realized Prabhupada is from the spiritual world, and Prabhupada's relationship with the deity is at a much higher level than ours. We are happy to look at Jagannath, but Prabhupada is literally talking to the deities. He's interacting with the deities, because Prabhupada was explaining how Mahaprabhu participated in the Rath Yatra of Jagannath and what was the experience, and how Mahaprabhu would faint at the mention of Jagannath, and he would fall into the ocean unconscious. So Prabhupada had mentioned these things on several occasions. So one day, Govinda Dasi, Prabhupada's disciple, she asked Prabhupada, what is this viraha? You said that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu once fainted and fell into the ocean, thinking of separation from Krishna. Prabhupada said, this is a nice question. You should not think, oh, I have now seen Krishna, finished. Or I have understood the philosophy, finished. Or all my business is now finished. I have understood everything. Your relationship should not be like that. But perpetually, you should think your business is never over. Your relationship is perpetual. And you should think, I am not fit to see you, Krishna. I am a rascal. I am full of sins. I am not qualified to see you. I have no qualification. In this way, you should feel separation. And this is the mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Like that, Srila Prabhupada said. And then Prabhupada closed his eyes and he said, and he remained, continued in that way with eyes closed. For one whole minute, he did not open his eyes. But everyone could see that Prabhupada was withdrawn into ecstasy. Prabhupada was feeling ecstatic emotions inside and he could not show it out. So he's keeping his eyes closed and he's experiencing within. He cannot open either his eyes or mouth. He sat like that. Then slowly he opened his eyes, pulled the karatal towards himself with an intention to play. The karatal was making this grrr sound, no, that rubbing against each other, but he could not play. Again, his eyes were closed. And for another 2 minutes, there was complete silence in the temple hall. Prabhupada was in complete ecstasy. And all the boys and girls had their eyes fixed on Prabhupada. And they saw what is ecstasy. Till now, The hippies thought only drugs give you ecstasy. LSD, marijuana, free sex, liquor, music. They thought this will give ecstasy. And here they are saying, Prabhupada, in completely inner ecstasy of meditating on Krishna, Mahaprabhu, Jagannath, he is in total ecstasy. The boys are completely convinced about the bona fides of Krishna consciousness movement. And they are saying our Guru is absolutely a pure devotee representative of God. Yeah. So Prabhupada again opened his eyes. Again he said, and then he did Kirtan for 10 minutes and got up and left. Usually Prabhupada doesn't show his spiritual emotions in public, but very rarely by Krishna's arrangement, they are exposed so that the devotees will get more confidence. So this is the mood of Prabhupada explained. This is the mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and pure devotees like Goswami. They never say, I have seen Krishna. I have spoken to Krishna. No, they always say, when will I see Krishna? Oh, where is Krishna? He Radhe Vrajadevike Chalalite, He Nanda Suno Kuta. Sri Govardhana Kalpa Pata Patale, Kalindi Vanye Kuta. They are asking, where are you, Krishna? Where are you, Radharani? Where can I see you? Like that. So that mood, Prabhupada displayed ecstatic symptoms. I think we are running short of time. So, yeah, I think I will wind up here. The remaining slides, I will add it to the next session because there's so much more to be spoken.